Let me first start recording. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Natalie. The Zoom room is completely yours.
Thank you, Paula. So good morning, everyone. As you already know, my name is Nataly Telles. I currently work at Facultad de Educación, Universidad de Concepción, and I teach in the English language teaching program. So what I'm going to show you today are the preliminary results of this interdisciplinary extracurricular online workshops from the perspective or from the perceptions of a group of ESL pre-service teachers. Okay, so in terms of the organization of the presentation, I'm going to briefly refer to the theoretical framework in the introduction. Then we will talk about the problem statement, the participants, the research methodology, and design. The results will be presented along with the discussion. Then I'm going to show you the conclusions and the references that I use for this presentation. Okay, so in terms of, in order to start with the presentation, so we need to know that current research has shown that for the Chilean ESL pre-service teachers, there is a huge need to start incorporating more relevant and current methodology courses in the ELT programs, according to Martin and Rosa Maldonado. Why this? Because we need to start bridging this gap between this the classroom practice and the theoretical knowledge that our EFL or ESL pre-service teachers have. So teacher preparation programs are crucial, as we know, for educational transformation. So we need to start incorporating this more methodologies so pre-service teachers can work and know how they currently work. They actually work, in different contexts. So one of those current methodologies are related to PBL or interdisciplinary projects, because they can allow teachers to have more hands-on experiences in teaching, and they can also have the opportunity to address any type of issues or any type of contents that they want in the classroom. And there are some research has also shown that there are benefits for the EFL learners that participate from these interdisciplinary projects, because they can see how language works in different contexts. They can participate in high cognitive tasks. They can develop their communicative competence. They can develop in their intercultural or intercultural competence, cultural awareness, and they can also see how their motivation changes and improves. And EFL learners can also see education differently, according to the authors that I'm showing you in these slides. Okay, so with this PBL methodology and interdisciplinary projects do not only bring benefits for the EFL learners, that there are also some benefits for the ESL or EFL pre-service teachers. Why? Because they can develop collaboration and cooperation skills. And PBL has been proven, according to research, to be an enriching and an effective methodology for pre-service teachers, as they perceive and they can see how their ability to teach English can improve. Okay, so this collaboration and cooperation skills that they developed while they implement the PBL methodology affects and impacts their identities, their professional identities, and their professional development as well, because this type of methodology teaches them how collaboration, how cooperation works. And we can also infer that they might feel more prepared to teach these same values in their respective classrooms. Okay, so During this process of working with PBL and interdisciplinary projects, the pre-service teachers, ESL in this case, they can see how their professional development can be strengthened and enhanced if they are guided during the design, during the planning, the implementation, and the execution of this type of projects. So now I'm going to talk about the problem that we are trying to address through this study. So students from fourth year at our university, they need to undertake the advanced teaching practicums. So during this teaching practicum, they are in charge of implementing units. They are working with a mentor teacher, and they work individually with a mentor teacher at different schools of the Gran Concepcion, okay? So what happened this year, the pandemic, okay? So we didn't know how we were going to be able to implement this advanced teaching practicum with this group of students. We were very concerned about this online methodology, as we have never worked with a practicum in this type of conditions. And we were uncertain as well about how the schools would respond to our requirements of practicums. So the whole subject was redesigned, and it was established that in this case, the programs would offer different workshops for the students of the SLEB, of Servicio Local de Educación, here in Concepcion, and they can cover any type of topic. So we focus and we joined with the arts teaching program, and we implemented a strategy based on the PBL methodology as a practicum, okay? So the participants, this group of participants were 11 pre-service teachers. They were 5 male and 7 female students. Their ages range from 21 to 23 years old. They all belong to the advanced teaching practicum. They had already taken ALT courses, and they had all been part of different teaching practicums along their education as teachers, okay? So this strategy that we implemented was called Kamishibai, where EFL learners had to narrate stories using different scenarios created by them with different materials and with the support of the art teaching program. So they could develop their linguistic skills, their communicative competence, and obviously artistic skills as well. So how this was organized? So we had different stages, as you can see here, the induction stage where we talked about PBL because it was a methodology they had never worked before, at least at university. They only knew it from theory. Then it started the inquiry process about identifying the learning need. Then we moved to the design and implementation of the stage, where they had to plan the lessons, create materials, implement the online sessions with these EFR learners. That was 8 weeks. And then we started with the reflection and evaluation that took 3 weeks. This group of students, of pre-service teachers worked in groups in order to implement the sessions. We also had weekly meetings, and these weekly meetings with the art teaching program and the ELT program were mainly to talk about the sessions, what happened, what needs to be improved. We also talk about the different distributions of the tasks per week and per group as well. And during those sessions participated the pre-service teachers from both programs, as I already said, and the professors that were in charge of those subjects. So we felt that this experience needed to be shared with other teacher educators and teachers from schools as well, because this is something that can also apply in their different contexts. So the research design and question that you are seeing here, this is framed within the qualitative approach as we are talking about the perception. So this is also framed within the interpretative paradigm. and the research questions that I'm attempting to answer. So what are the perceptions of a group of EFL pre-service teachers about the implementation of interdisciplinary projects as teaching practicums, okay? So the data collection techniques and analysis, I used for this presentation, the online questionnaire. It included 11 questions, but for the sake of the presentation, we are going to see only 3. I used thematic analysis to analyze the information that was collected from the students. I also use frequency analysis to check how often the themes were mentioned, and it used to examine the information and categorize the themes and frequency. So now I will move on to the discussion. So the results and discussion. So the perceptions of this group of EFL teachers, ESL teachers, was mainly referred to benefits for both the EFL learners that participated in this strategy, and for them as ESL pre-service teachers. So the blue are the perceptions related to the EFL learners, and the orange ones are these perceived benefits for the pre-service teachers, okay? So I'm going to see them individually because I don't see that you can see them very clearly here. So in terms of the students, the themes that appeared in from the pre-service teachers in terms of these perceived benefits is that the EFL learners or the students can have room for creativity, the real context to learn the language, interdisciplinary projects as means to develop different skills, innovation and collaboration skills. So for this presentation, I'm going to analyze only 3 of them. And we are going to now we are going to see the excerpts from the pre-service teachers' responses, okay? So we have here the interdisciplinary projects as means to develop different skills. We can see the pre-service teacher 8. So there is a great idea to incorporate English and art, so students can develop their artistic and expressive skills. Pre-service teacher number 4 says that students use English as a means to work on their projects, and this methodology really can support them in their development of their learning language skills. In terms of room for creativity, students, pre-service teachers said, number 7, said that students can explore their creativity more as they are no longer participating in learning processes that involve memorization and memorization of structures and concepts. Pre-service teacher number 5 said that students had also the opportunity to develop their creativity and to be heard by others. In terms of the real context to learn the language, they said that this is a great opportunity for the students to use different materials to learn language in different ways, and that they can see that English is not only in the classroom, they can also be a part of their daily lives. So we can see that this project-based learning allows the students to experience the language more in depth and in real context, that they can employ different skills, negotiation, collaboration skills to develop their projects as they feel heard by others. And this type of projects also allows EFL learners to see education differently in terms of English is now a part of different, in different situations. It's not only in the classroom that they can use it to talk about their preferences or their interests. And in terms of the pre-service teachers, we can see that there are different themes as well: teaching experience, professional development, and student-centered lessons are the ones that will be analyzed right now. So in terms of the teaching experience, pre-service teacher number 8 says that this was a very like enlightening experience, as they know what type of task they need to do in the classroom, that pre-service teacher number 7 can now address the different learning needs of their students, and they can also work with planning a little bit better. In terms of the professional development, this group of pre-service teachers says that now they know how to work with PBL, that they can implement this along with the art teachers at the different schools in different educational context, that they can clearly benefit, as pre-service teacher number 3 saying, their professional career. And pre-service teacher number 4 is saying that they can also develop different skills in terms of working collaboratively with others, how to organize themselves, and they can create different bonds with their classmates. And in terms of the student-centered lessons, they say that these workshops that were implemented with the students provided the opportunity for the EFL learners to create products that they are really interested in, as pre-service teacher number 10 is saying, and that they had the opportunity to develop their skills. And this is also, they took the decision in this case of allowing the students to talk about whatever they wanted to talk in their stories. So this pre-service teacher feels that that was the right decision, and obviously that considering the students in this type of decisions, pedagogical decisions, clearly reflected in better results. And pre-service teacher number 4 again says that English is present in their EFL learners like during their whole lives, and now they can see how working with English based on the student interest can clearly bring benefits to the subject, but they can also bring benefits to how the students see the world, how the student work with the language, and how they can include different types of materials as well. So as you can see, this only experience that we implemented can be really beneficial if we start implementing new and current methodologies to work with pre-service teachers. And this also impacted on their professional development, as they now feel more prepared to work. This feeling of a sense of achievement as well appeared, and they now feel more prepared to cooperate and collaborate with others. So in terms of the conclusions, this isolated experience shed light on the type of experiences that can be included in the EFL teaching programs. Pre-service teachers perceive different benefits for their teaching experience, for the professional development, and for the students that the EFL students that participated in this type of instances. That we can also say that PBL, it's also a source of motivation, not only for the EFL learners, but also for pre-service teachers, as they can see how English can work with other disciplines. And from the perspective of the ESL pre-service teachers, they can see that language really works when it's taught in real life context, okay? And the last conclusion that I can draw from this experience is that a student's pre-service teacher felt more prepared. That this is very important, because they were guided during the whole process, but now they feel more prepared and they want to implement this type of experience whenever they start working as teachers. So this was my presentation, very fast. And here you have the references that were used for the discussion and for the introduction of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for a very interesting presentation, Natalie. I am now going to invite to the room to Valentina, who is going to help us moderating some of the questions from some of the people that are present here listening to your presentation. Are you okay, Valentina? Can you speak?
Yes.
Are you? Yeah, okay.
So now we have 10 minutes for our question section. So feel free to write on the chat, or maybe you can raise your hand to ask questions.
I'm all ears. Or comments.
When questions take some time to arrive, so let's
yeah.
let's wait a little bit.
Meanwhile, you think about your questions. This is part of, as I said, preliminary results, because we are currently adding more participants and more data from the courses that are working with the same strategy this year. Okay, that's to clarify the information.
How do you think that data could change results, or what it is that you kind of predict could happen?
Sorry,
every time we add more data, the thing kind of escapes a little bit from what we originally anticipated. Are you trying to compare? Are you trying to establish like I don't know, a longitudinal study? What is it that you're trying to do with this more data that you want to add?
Yes, we want to see if this type of a strategy can be implemented in face-to-face scenarios. We don't know when this is going to happen, but we are trying to make this strategy a little bit better from the previous semester, because this was implemented during the second semester of last year. So now my colleague is reframing and redesigning everything. So I think that we want to have like 3 semesters of this experience, and then to see how this can work in the face-to-face scenarios. So I have a question here.
Yeah, Valentina?
Yes, we have 2 questions. The first one is, how would you describe the process of being a teacher educator during the implementation of a project?
Thank you very much. I think it was a very enlightening process for me as well. I felt sometimes that I was at the same level of my pre-service teacher students, because I've never worked before with PBL methodology. So it was new for all of us. However, as we were able to organize everything from the very beginning, I could see my students, my group of students or ESL pre-service teachers as my colleagues, because we were all working in the same thing. So it was very enlightening, and I think that we need to, in this case, provide more opportunities for this group for all the pre-service teachers to work in this type of instances, as we can learn, because the PBL methodology is based on this constructivist approach to education, where all learn from everyone. So it was very enlightening, Maria Jesus.
Thank you very much. Now, Christopher wants to know, did students feel comfortable using the language during classes? Were they actively participating?
Christopher, students at the very beginning, our EFL learners were very motivated from the very beginning, because it was very new, like just the name of the strategy, like Kamishibai, they didn't know what was going to happen. So when we started implemented, the pre-service teachers from my class, they provided a lot of scaffolding to the students, a lot of support to for them to participate. I think so they felt comfortable participating. But these are just my perceptions. We don't have like clear data to say that this really happened. But according to me, they felt comfortable and they participated along the sessions. I see one of my students that is here, and we worked with them, and as everything was supported for them to speak, they didn't feel ashamed. And as the strategy was very motivating, they felt motivated too, because they could see their project progressing. So they just ask, sometimes obviously that they use the L1, but that was not a problem, at least for us.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How could you assess this process?
In terms of what, Pia? Like the process in general, the assessment?
Maybe she's thinking about assessment of impact, or impact in terms of learning, probably.
I'm thinking about that as well. I think this was a very positive experience for this group of pre-service teachers. We could also see that in the other documents that we have from them during the feedback sessions that we have after they implemented the lessons with the students. They said that now they feel more prepared for the professional practicum that they are undertaking this semester, because they gain experience in terms of online learning and how to teach projects. So I would assess it positively, Pia.
Okay, I think, Valentina, that we have about 3 more minutes for questions, if
Yes.
there are any more questions that are coming in. So we're going to wait those minutes for the questions, and if not, we are going to close the room, but we still have a couple of minutes in case you come up with any questions.
Yes. This can also be implemented, Manuel, at schools as well. You can join, or any teacher of English can join or meet with the art teacher and start coming up with ideas and implement a BBL. I think this is a great opportunity to start working with interdisciplinary projects, because students can use language as a means to create other things. And I think that is the shift. We need to shift to that areas as well. So thank you, Manuel, for your comments, and Ariadna as well.
Yeah, I think that it's it for, oh, Catherine, Valentina, I think Catherine is raising her hand.
I can't unmute her.
I'm going to try here. Catherine, it would be great if you could type your question in the chat box. Otherwise, it becomes a bit difficult to manage because I cannot find you here. Well, I gave you permission to unmute yourself, but ideally, if you can type your question, then maybe that would be better.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hi, everybody. My name is Catherine, and I'm not an English teacher. I'm just a student living in a foreign country. And I just want to say thank you for this opportunity, because it's very interesting. So as I said, I'm not living in Chile, and this kind of process about how to understand and how to improve your teaching is very, very great, because here I'm still improving my English. And I think these kind of studies are really powerful. And I would love that every teacher in Chile would be able to apply this kind of techniques. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you very much, everyone.
So without further ado, I would like to thank Nataly for the time you invested in your research, first of all, for researching our local context. and also for preparing this presentation and for participating in the RISELT online conference. So thank you very much for that. Thank you to the rest of the members of the team for the time put into making this happen. We are going to close the room now because there is a break now coming in, and there isn't a presentation, at least in this room, for about another hour. But we are going to be back in this room at 1 for the next presentation, again, focused on online teaching and learning. So we will see all of you at 1 when we are back here in the room. Okay, so thank you, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.